up, guys? So it's your girl Denise.Rodri, and I'm here with another story time. You guys have been asking I feel like that meme where it's like YouTubers are like, you guys have been asking, when in reality no one's asking. But no, you guys have really been asking me to just give you guys a story time of my breast augmentation boob job. So I was like, you know what, let me sit down and just have a quick little story time, because what better time than quarantine. So if you want to know about my breast augmentation details, what size I got, silicone or saline, everything that you need to know about a breast augmentation, I'm about to let you know. I'm about to give you guys a little insight. So if you're interested, then just keep watching. Okay, to start off, I decided to get a boob job. I think I got them done when I was 22. I actually wanted a boob job like since I was like 15 because my boobs never came in. And apparently in a woman's body, your boobs stop growing at the age of 18. And at 18, I was flat chested. I used to be a dancer, so I remember that I had long legs, I had a long torso, and I was like super flat chested. So I honestly didn't feel as confident as I wanted to feel because I low-key felt like a boy. I was like, I have no boobs, and I don't know, I just didn't feel attractive. And so I remember like when I turned 18, I like asked my mom about it. If you guys watched my Growing Up Latina video, you know my parents were very strict with me. So something like a boob job was not something I felt they would accept for me to do. So I had to like really think about if I wanted it. And not only that, but I had never done like a huge surgery before, so it was just like a lot of thought into it. But I knew that as long as my parents were gonna financially support me or that idea, they wouldn't allow me to do it. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna get a boob job, I'm gonna have to pay for it myself. So nothing, I kind of left it in the back burner. And then when I graduated high school and I started college, I begged my dad to let me work because he wouldn't let me and my brother have jobs while we were studying. But once I reached like freshman year of college, like I really wanted a job because I just wanted to start making money for myself and not have to ask them every single time I wanted to buy a shirt or, you know, just anything, go shopping or whatever. And I begged my dad, and finally he agreed to let me get a part-time job. And I worked at Steve Madden in the mall. The point is that I got this job at Steve Madden honestly so that I could like pay for things and not feel like my parents like could say no to a certain degree, because I still respected them and whatever they said went because I lived under their roof, and that's just how it is in a Dominican household. But with like my boob job, I like really started to think about it after I turned 21, and I was like, damn, like at this point I'm only getting older, and it's like, am I just gonna live with this size boobs? And at that point I had to quit the Steve Madden job because I started working at a local clothing boutique. This was before online shopping. It was like the boutiques in your hometown were like the it spot to go get your clothes at instead of the malls. And I got this job to like manage this boutique, and then I only managed the boutique for a few months, and then the owner was like, listen, we're gonna start doing selfies and we're gonna start promoting the clothes we sell in the boutique by you wearing it and taking a photo in the dressing room and uploading it to our Instagram, and let's start selling like that. And just so you guys know, like at this time, it was like 2015. This was like something new. No one was taking selfies to sell the clothes. I just started modeling from that point on, and then I modeled for other stores, and that's when that little situation started. But again, I would always feel insecure because I would wear all these outfits and I wouldn't feel as sexy as I wanted to feel in them because I didn't have boobs. And I was always self-conscious about it. And then finally one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the consultations. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna get the work done, but at least I can go and speak to the doctor. I only sat my mom down first, and I was like, look mom, I really wanna do this. I think that what I'm gonna do first is just go to a consultation, see how I feel, and then decide if I'm gonna get the boob job. But don't tell dad yet because I haven't decided that I'm doing the surgery, and I'm gonna pay for it all myself, but I don't wanna hear his mouth yet, so just don't say anything. Like, let's just go to the consultations. Mind you, I'm pretty sure she told him because she tells my dad everything. But basically, I turned 22, and then during May, my birthday month, we ended up going to 3 doctors. And I'm a little crazy when it comes to like specific things in my life. I'm like a little OCD. So like, for example, to make such a big decision in my mind, I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna decide to get the surgery, I need to know everything about a breast augmentation. So I Googled everything, like how they make the implants, like what's better, saline or silicone, why is it better, what size you should do, why do some boobs look so fake, why do some boobs look so natural. I'm so crazy, guys, I watched the surgery get done on YouTube. Like, I'm psycho like that. If anyone else is like this, please comment down below so I don't feel alone. Basically, like, I did all my research and then I decided to like schedule 3 consultations, which, by the way, the consultations are free. They should be free. If anyone wants to charge you just to see you and give you an estimate of like what, you know, you should be doing in terms of size, how much it's gonna cost, all of that should be free. That's a disclaimer because some people do like to charge and that's just them taking advantage. So keep that in mind. So I scheduled 3 consultations, 3 different doctors. I told myself this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see these 3 different doctors. I'm gonna express to them the exact same thing of why I want a boob job, what I want it to look like, show them photos, and then see what I receive back from them. Depending on how they respond to me, depends on who I'm gonna choose to like make this life-changing decision with. Because in my mind, this was gonna change my life. So I go to the first doctor and I just remember that I go into the office with my mom. Mind you, this was in Miami. I got my breast augmentation done in Miami. So I go in with my mom and he comes in very respectful, very nice. And he asks me like, what am I looking for? And I tell him like, look, I model and I know that in the future I'm going to school for broadcast. I know I'm going to be on TV. And like there's just specific things in my work environment that I knew that I still wanted my body to look like proportionate. And I told him I wanted it to look natural. I didn't want it to look like I had a boob job. I wanted the teardrop shape and I wanted them to be small. I wanted them to fit my body. And the first thing this man did was look at me and he was like, listen, honey, if you're gonna go for it, you need to go for it. He's like, if you want my advice, it's go big or go home. And I just looked at my mom and I was like, first of all, you're not gonna tell me what I'm gonna do with my body. That's number 1. Number 2, if I'm telling you I want small boobs, then just give me small boobs. Don't try and convince me to go bigger. Like, I didn't like that. No, we're not doing that. So canceled him out. I go to the second doctor and he was like a really popular doctor in Miami, like the big hype around him. And I again went in, said the same thing, and like he was very sweet and stuff, but he was very short, very quick. He was just very like, okay, this is what it is, this is how much it's gonna be, okay, bye. And on top of that, all of his boob jobs, like I went on his website and I really like studied the girls and all of them looked fake and I didn't like that. So I was like, this was not gonna be it either. Cancel him out. Then I go to the one that I did decide to get my surgery with, which is Dr. Tal Brunner in Coral Gables. Amazing, amazing, amazing. This man is amazing. And it's him and his uncle. Both of them are called Rudner, but the nephew is called Tal Rudner, which is who I got my breast augmentation with. I remember I walked into the office and he was the most educational doctor I saw. He sat me and my mom down and he explained from the moment breast augmentation started to exist till that day what the evolution of it was, why they said that it was illegal to do silicone, like why now it's legal, like the difference between silicone and saline implants, and like he just broke down everything for us. Not only that, but every single patient of his that was walking in and walking out of that doctor's office, you could barely tell they had a boob job done. And I love that. Like I would look at my mom and I'd be like, where are her boobs at? Like you don't even see them. And it was because most of the work that he did was the natural, small, teardrop kind of style. Especially with the fact that he sat me and my mom down without needing to do that and just explains everything so we were comfortable with the idea of this surgery. I love that. So I remember I told him like, listen, I want a full B, small C. And usually you talk in cup size because as like women, that's what we recognize it as. But when you're getting a breast augmentation, they don't give you a B size boob or like a C size boob. They go by cubic centimeters. So basically what he explained to me was, tell me in cup size what it is that you want, and then I'll tell you what it is in amount of cc's. So I basically showed him like what I wanted, and then he's like, okay, that looks like a $275 to me. So what they do is they put you like in a sports bra, and then they bring in like a sample implant of that amount. So for example, $275. And in silicone and saline, the difference between the two is that a silicone implant is made out of silicone and a saline implant is made out of salt water. The major difference between both implants inside of your body is that a saline implant, if God forbid you hurt one breast enough to where it pops, the saline implant would automatically just drain out into your body, and it obviously won't harm your body. It's salt water, but you will be able to tell because your boob will literally go flat. And you know, there's no toxins, no something. It's actually like, it's good for your body. It's fine if that happens, and it's better, I guess, because you're aware right away that something happened. With a silicone implant, if God forbid you hurt your breast enough to where it pops, your boob stays the same. But I mean, obviously in that situation, if you ever see yourself in that situation, you're gonna know that you just hurt yourself really badly and you're gonna want to go see your doctor. There's not a big difference. Also, there's another misperception, which is that saline makes your boobs feel harder and silicone doesn't, or that silicone makes your boobs feel harder and saline makes them feel softer. None of that is true either. That all has to depend on your body and how your body takes the implant, how big you put the implant. Like, it's like a lot of factors. Like, my breasts feel very normal and they're silicone, and the difference in factor in that, I believe the biggest factor is how big you go, because if your body goes through too much trauma and it like expands way too much to where it shouldn't be expanded that way, it's gonna be hard because it's like a balloon that you're like blowing up, you know. So that's basically that difference. But back to the cc's. So what they do is they put you in a sports bra. They bring over an implant the size of what the doctor assumes is what you're looking for. In my case, 275 cc's. And then the nurse stubs your sports bra with a sampler implant. Then that way you can kind of visually see in the mirror what you might look like with that size. And then if you want it bigger, you go bigger. If you don't, you don't. And then you just negotiate with the doctor at that point. That was like the easiest process out of the whole thing. And then after that, they give you your price and then you go about your way. I paid $5,100 for my breast augmentation. So I went to the consultation. This was in May, and like I said, I told my mom, don't tell my dad, I haven't decided that I'm gonna get the operation. I just want to go. I just want to speak to them and get the knowledge I need to get and then think about it. And I ended up thinking about it for 7 months. I did not decide. For 7 months, I was like, do I really want to do this? Like, this is gonna change my body. This is gonna change my life. Do I want to do this? Like, I really thought about it. I mean, I thought about it for 7 months. And then on top of that, I'm afraid of needles, like deadly afraid of needles. So I was very scared to go under and to picture an IV in my arm, like just was so scary to me. And it took me 7 months to like really like decide that yes, this is what I wanted to do. So literally in December, I don't remember what day, I just know one day I was like, F it, I'm gonna do it. And I called the office without telling my mom. I called the office back, I scheduled my appointment with them, and then the next day I went and I told my mom, I was like, look, I scheduled my appointment, I'm doing it. And she was like, what? My mom was shook. She's like, what do you mean you're doing it? And I was like, I'm doing it. I told you I was gonna think about it. I thought about it for a very long time, and I think this is what I want to do. And I never rebel. Like, I had a whole thing with my mom. I was like, I never do anything you guys don't want me to do. I'm 22, I'm in college, I'm paying for it myself, I'm doing this. And she's like, okay. And then she's like, well, you need to tell your dad. And I was like, I am gonna tell them, but not right now. Like, the appointment wasn't until like January. So I was like, we don't need to tell him right now. Like, why are we gonna stress him out? Like, let's just tell him a little closer to the operation day. A week before they start preparing you, they start telling you like what to eat and like what to buy for the operation day. And then you have to go into the office and get like blood work to make sure everything's good, you're not pregnant, etc. And I remember the day that I went to go get my blood taken out. Oh my God. Like, remember I said I was afraid of needles. They had to literally inject me 5 times, guys. 5 times.